And action. Ready for a Monday. Action. Go.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Ashes to Rubies family. Welcome to the podcast and live stream where we talk a bit about recovery and a lot about other things sometimes. Did I get that backwards? Dyslexia is a beautiful thing.
No, that's okay. So we're going to do a reading and we're going to give you something to reflect on throughout the day. And hopefully it gives us something to reflect on throughout the day.
What I was thinking about this morning, and just because it's coming off the weekend, what has been in recent, because I think we can ebb and flow, what's been the number one relaxing thing that you're engaging in right now, like in the last couple months or month or week?
Wow, I don't feel like, morning hot tub sessions.
Yeah.
Everything else has felt like I haven't felt like there's been downtime. I don't.
Do you rest without downtime?
I feel like I do.
Because I know you a little bit. Sometimes you rest like I don't rest. Like you find rest and relaxation by hanging out with your friends.
Yes.
Sometimes hanging out with my friends, I need a break from. Like we all need a break. Like even last night, you said, I'm going upstairs to be alone. I was like, oh, how much alone do you need? Like in my head, I was like, so do I come up now? Like, what am I supposed to do right now? I don't know if I read the play properly, but I did come up within.
I really like to be around people. I really enjoy being around people. And then there's just moments where I'm like, I don't want to have to talk to you right now.
That's more directed
at
me and not
no,
the camera.
No, it was really nice because there was like 3 of us that went on overnight. And so sometimes one person could just be a little quiet. And if there was a person who was chatty, then the other person would chat with them.
And no one's like, what's wrong? Why are you so quiet?
Yeah.
You
don't feel like you're being like put out. If you're just one-on-one, like if I'm just with you and you're just talking, if I'm just quiet, you take it personally. But
yeah, sometimes depending on the circumstance. But yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
I wish
it was really nice going with 3 people.
I would love to gain relaxation time through working out. Hasn't happened yet.
Because I do have one of those friends that came with me for the overnight. I just want to say that there was literally like a 2-minute moment where I was like, I don't really feel like talking. I'm just gonna be quiet for a bit.
2 minutes.
It probably lasted 2 minutes, and then I started talking again.
I too am like, I've been enjoying a morning routine, and we do have a hot tub, and I have been entering that hot tub for about 20-minute session in the morning, and you have joined me, and I find it very relaxing. There's something about it doesn't really matter the temperature outside, because at 6:30 in the morning or so, it's not a factor. There's no sun on it and that kind of stuff.
It is very relaxing.
That has been relaxing.
Yeah. This morning, though, you really only let me have 2 sips of your coffee. So I just want to like put that out there that like I don't want to have a resentment. So I know that there's times where I have consumed something without sharing.
Do you think sharing a coffee, because people are probably surprised right now that we might just go into the hot tub with 1 coffee, and it might be weird to people. Like sharing a Facebook account, nothing wrong with it if that's what you're doing. But I feel like this has provoked that conversation where we're trying to do better in caffeine.
I'm pretty sure,
especially you,
there's nobody else that I have ever known in my life who shares a coffee in the morning.
Especially that likes coffee.
I think that's not a thing.
Yeah, but this morning you kind of encroached on my territory.
No, this morning you're not going to share that coffee.
And I felt like you had ulterior motives of getting close to me.
This morning you were not sharing that coffee. You made that very clear.
Today I did not do all that sharing.
It's fine. I really just want a couple sips of it. What happened was a few months ago, I think it's a few months ago now, I recognized that I was waking up feeling anxious. Even before I had my coffee, I had like some anxiety. And so I stopped drinking. Like I always drank 1 coffee first thing in the morning. And I've recognized that I had anxiety. Like I was already feeling this like anxious tension in my body. And I was like, well, that's weird. Why am I waking up with that? So I stopped drinking coffee first thing in the morning for that period of time. And then just realized I don't want a whole coffee. And we don't drink normal coffee. We drink like
so this isn't
accelerant.
me trying to control your coffee intake, just in case anybody's wondering.
Yeah.
This is all comfort.
Have an espresso machine. And so a coffee is like 16 coffees. And I've just realized my body can't handle that first thing in the morning. I can handle it around.
So we like a little touch of caffeine in the morning. Like you like the smell.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
So yes.
But I'm controlling your caffeine intake. We do try our best to share coffee in the morning, but we got some rules about coffee. Like they're like, try not to have coffee 2 hours after you wake up. Like there, and then before 12 hours before you go to bed.
Some guiding principles.
Those
are your guiding principles.
Drew Huberman.
Those are your guiding principles that you're encouraging me to follow. Just to be
I'm
clear.
encouraging me to follow them.
And you
I don't even think I've encouraged you to follow them.
You've said, are you within your window?
It might be like, hey, there's a red light ahead if you're driving and I feel that you're not going to stop. So it's just maybe a protective mechanism of like, oh yeah, we have like 10 hours before bedtime. Should we have a cold brew right now? I think this conversation is making me realize we do too much together. But let's just get through this day and we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll need a break from you. Highly doubt it, but I'm looking forward to making you a full coffee in about an hour.
All right.
So, let's do our reading.
All right. The Fellowship of Recovery is like a dike holding back the ocean of liquor. The ocean of liquor.
A dike would be like in Holland.
It's dug.
No, isn't a dike go up? No, you're talking a ditch.
Oh, they make it in to hold back the ocean.
Yeah. So it's like it's like a speed bump.
It's like with the sandbags.
It could be with sandbags.
Or what else?
That would be a dike to hold back the water.
Okay.
But what you're talking about would be a ditch or a moat, which I think holds back water too. Yeah. Brilliant. You're brilliant.
Okay, so holding back the ocean. So specifically this reading is talking about AA, holding back the ocean of liquor.
But fill in the blank.
For us, okay, so we can translate it. So if we take one glass of liquor, it is like making a small hole in the dike. And once such a hole is made, the whole ocean of alcohol may rush in upon us. By practicing AA principles, we keep the dike strong and in repair. We spot any weaknesses or cracks and make the necessary repairs before any damage is done. Outside the dike is the whole ocean of alcohol waiting to engulf us again in despair. Am I keeping my dike strong? Meditation for the day.
Dike's a funny word. I just want to acknowledge
it's a very old word, which has been gravely
I don't
misused.
want to go beyond this.
Gravely misused.
No, I'm not going beyond that. I'm just saying it's just a word
I do
that
believe
I didn't think I'd used it.
Spelled differently when it's misused, though, just to be clear.
We're not going further.
Meditation for the day. The birds are lovely. Keep as close as you can to the higher power. Try to act, think, and live as though you were always in God's presence. Keeping close to a power greater than yourself is the solution to most of the Earth's problems, including the hole that's keeping out the ocean, or not keeping out the ocean. Try to practice the presence of God in the things you think and do. That is the secret of personal power. It is the thing which influences the lives of others for good. Abide in the Lord and rejoice in his love. Keep close to the divine spirit in the universe. Keep God close behind your thoughts.
So then the principle that we're talking about in the first part of the reading is basically keep close to him and do his work well.
Yeah.
And so we're not the block of alcohol. Like we don't have any, we're defenseless against the first drink or think or adrenaline or food or self-harm or whatever it is. Like we're defenseless against that when we've proven that man-made efforts have not worked, behavioral therapy, all that stuff. I need the power of God to build a defense against that. And so then that defense is there due to my relationship with him.
Mm.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I think that that's true. And I think that sometimes we can confuse it in our lives. And I grew up in the church, and I think that there was confusion around the fact that like going to church was going to keep me in a good place and I would have a happy life. And that went sideways.
Mhm.
And in my current life, what I've recognized is that there's fellowship required, there's service required, and then there's
Your own personal relationship with God.
And so I need to stay close to God, and then I can keep everything.
Mhm.
God actually keeps everything. And so
Mhm.
there's just oftentimes lately where I'm like, this area of my life is not how I would really like it to be.
Mhm.
Like, I'm still a little snarkier than I'd like to be on occasion, mostly with you. I don't always respond to people in the most patient of ways or the way that I would really like to. And I am often baffled. Like, I'm like, wow, why is this? Like, why is this happening? And what I've started to do now is I turn to God and I'm talking to God about it. Like, instead of beating myself up and like dragging myself through the mud, I'm talking to God about it.
Isn't it fun how we're coming into our 50s? Some may have already turned there in at this table. But we're just figuring this stuff out. Like, we're continuing to, like, not just, but we're continuing to figure this stuff out and grow in it.
Well, it's good because we do have a lot of life left. So.
A lot of life left, guys.
A lot of life left. There is a long way to go.
Let's pray our way into this day.
Oh yeah, me. I pray that I may keep close to the mind of God. I pray that I may live with him in my heart and mind.
Amen. Keep the peace, be of good behavior, and we will hopefully see you tomorrow.
Thanks for joining.